Welcome to cooking cheap, easy, and tasty meal. Today I am going to make a chess pie, which is one of the worst things I could possibly make for myself because it's something that I really shouldn't be eating. Anyway, I've already prepared my crust. I want to par bake it. If you watch my episode about making pies, you know that you're supposed to put it in the freezer for 8 to 24 hours before you cook it, which I have done. The people who really know how to make pies really know how to do this. And I'm getting better. See, the shell looks pretty good. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper in it. And I'm going to put my not very fancy pie weights. These are just plain old beans, and they do a really good job. And they're just beans that have been sitting around for a long time and I have no use for. Now, what I'm going to try and do is stack them up around the edges. I've got my oven preheated to 425 degrees. I'm going to put them in for 15 minutes. Let's make the filling. To start with, we're going to put the melted butter and the sugar in a bowl. It's a lot of sugar. That's what I should have it. But we're getting it together. Okay. Now we're going to put in the eggs. So I'm going to take and break the eggs one at a time, put them in. And while I don't usually do it one at a time, for this mixture I am, because I think it affects the overall emulsification of the egg. Okay, next egg. Alright, let's get this egg mixed in. Third egg. And finally the fourth egg. Okay, there's the fourth egg. You could certainly do this with beaters, but I just prefer to do it like that. Okay, now that we've got that, we're going to put in cornmeal and flour. There's a local bakery that makes a chess pie, which is a real indulgence, so I'm hoping this is at least as good, although I suspect from the look of this it might even be better. And then we're going to put the milk. The lemon juice. and the vanilla. Probably a little too much vanilla, but it really won't hurt. Vanilla only adds to the flavor. And a pinch of salt since I used unsalted butter. And that is the filling for our pie. Okay, we're going to get out the pie and remove the pie weights. It's been about 15 minutes. The pie is beginning to brown quite well. I'm going to turn the oven down to about 325 for the next step. Yeah, I'm going to take the pie weights out. Try and be careful. This is the place you don't want to break. That looks pretty good. I want to put it in for another 10 or 15 minutes and let it dry up a little more in the middle. Although it's coming together quite nicely. And then we're going to do a little trick that I recently learned. Although I think I've heard about it before, I've never tried it. We'll find out if it works. And that's that you take a hot pie that you have par-baked and you beat an egg and you brush the egg over the inside of the pie while it's still hot, which tends to crisp up the base of the pie and make it better when you're cooking some sort of a creamy pie. It helps cut down on it, the base becoming wet. Okay, I've never actually tried this before, so it'll be interesting to see if it works. But I've read about it and I've heard people talk about it. It just seems like a good idea. The last one I made, I was really unhappy because the base came out really a little too wet, I guess is the only word. So what I'm going to do is I've beat an egg, and I've baked this down a little bit so it's a little less wet anyway. So I'm going to just take this egg mixture and brush it on the inside of the crust. And what it's supposed to do, the crust is really hot right now, it's supposed to fill in the little gaps in it and help protect it from the moisture of the whatever you're going to put into it to help keep it a little crisper. Otherwise, pie crust looks really good. I'm pleased with it. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a minute, and then I'm going to add the mixture, and we're going to cook it. I am going to add this, and I have enough for 2 pies, so I'm just going to add just enough for the first pie. There we go. That's just about right. Now I'm going to put that in a 375-degree oven for between 40 and 50 minutes. And I'm putting it on a pizza stone to help make sure the bottom crisps up. Additionally, we'll check back in about 40 minutes. Here is our pie after about 50 minutes. I think it's done. I checked the center. The toothpick came out clean. So I'm hoping that's a good sign. I'm going to let it cool. It's going to sink, I'm sure. And I'm going to let it cool, and then we'll see what it tastes like. By the way, this is not a pie for someone on a diet. It's not a pie for somebody with a sugar problem. This is an intense pie, but it's also incredibly delicious, probably because it's almost all sugar. Anyway, we'll see what it's like in a couple hours. I probably will have to refrigerate it before we cut it. Okay, it's been a couple hours. I think I'm going to go ahead and try and cut it. One of the nice things about this crust is if it is done right, the crust actually, you can actually pull the pie out like that. It doesn't stick. I think that's one of the lovely things. So I'm going to cut this. And then I'm going to see if I can lift it without breaking it. I don't think I've got it cut all the way, believe it or not. Oh, there it is. There's a little slice right there that I didn't get. Okay. Now we have a preliminary slice of pie. Now look at that. Looks pretty good. All right, so the next step will be to taste it. One of the things I really like about this crust is that you can pick it up like this. Wow, that is so good. And it's bound to be really bad for me. But so far, it's worth it. Anyway, hope you try it. It's a great pie. Have a great day. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give us a like. Thank you.